Hi, so I'm Mackenzie Elliott, and the plant that I chose to do my ethnobotany report on is Eriodictyon californicum, which you can see the photos of here. It's also known as Yerba Santa. There's more common nicknames here on the left-hand side that you guys can read whenever you feel like it. But Eriodictyon californicum is an evergreen shrub in the family Boraginaceae, which was formerly included in Hydrophiliaceae, but is no longer part of the waterleaf family and now is in the borage family due to new findings. The fruit type of Eriodictyon californicum is a capsule, which is filled with small black seeds, and these small black seeds are what the plant primarily reproduces from. But sometimes the plant also reproduces via underground rhizomes because this shrub grows woody rhizomes underground, and that's about the environment that it lives in and fire protection. The useful parts of this plant are the leaves and stems, which are alternately arranged and pinnately veined. As you can see on the right-hand side, they're oblong with a serrated edge. They're a dark green color, and they tend to be leathery consistency, like the feeling of is leathery. But they also feel sticky to the touch, the leaves and stems both, because they are resinous and glutinous. As you can see in both photos, the flowers vary from a white to a lavender color, and they're a tubular bell-like trumpet type shape, and they grow in little clusters. And they're primarily pollinated by bees and butterflies. The native range of Eriodictyon californicum is pretty much all of California's northwestern coast, but the range can go anywhere from Baja California into the southern Oregon area. And you can see in the photos on the left upper side that there are certain areas where the population is more dense of Eriodictyon californicum, and it's marked by little orange dots on that map with the circles. But the highest populations are around the Sacramento Valley, San Francisco Bay Area, North Coast Ranges, and the northern High Sierra Nevada area. The habitat of this plant is dry, rocky soil. It tends to grow best in Mediterranean climates, and it tends to prefer slightly acidic soils, anywhere from sandy loam to heavy clay, and even serpentine soil niche. It prefers fire-prone areas because fire tends to help seeds germinate, which I'll discuss a little bit later. And useful relatives, some other members of Eriodictyon californicum, or I mean Eriodictyon, not Eriodictyon californicum, but Eriodictyon genus as a whole, are Eriodictyon crucifolium, or thickleaf Yerba Santa, or Eriodictyon trichocalyx, or hairy Yerba Santa, and they kind of fulfill similar functions to Eriodictyon californicum. Other useful members of Boraginaceae, or the borage family, are Cynoglossum grande, or Pacific houndstong, which can be used for stomachache or venereal diseases, or even inflammation or burn relief, which indigenous tribes use for both of these things. On the very bottom right-hand corner, you can see Plagiobothris fulvis or campicetris, or the field popcorn flower, or snowdrops. Both of those are common names used by indigenous peoples. And it grows in the Round Valley, and the seeds are parched to make pinole, which is similar to popcorn, which is how it gets its name. It's also, as you can see in the grass photo, it kind of like sprinkles the grass tops, which is how it got snowdrops as its name. The uses of Eriodictyon californicum range from high protein content when consumed, to woven skirts and aprons, which is what the Costa Nome peoples use it for, but primarily it's used for treatments of pulmonary or respiratory ailments and diseases such as asthma, bronchitis, pneumonia, tuberculosis, respiratory infections, coughs, colds, sore throats, flus. And it was even recognized by Western medicine in the US Pharmacopoeia in 1894 for these purposes. So it actually works very, very well to the point where Western medicine even finally decided to recognize it. It works well as mucus relief and expectorant. It functions to help purify the blood and calm stomach aches. It can even treat sores and rheumatism. It has disinfectant qualities and could be used as an eye wash. And over time, it's been used for spiritual and religious purification, like widely by indigenous tribes and other groups. This Eriodictyon californicum plant was used by a vast range of tribes from the Miwok, Pomo, Mahuna, Costanoan, Yuki, Mendocino Indian, Yurok, Kaiwatsu, Karak, Atsugewi, and Kawila Indians, and probably many more. In the photos here, you can see the hothouse that they would use for herbal steams. I believe this one is a Miwok steam house. And then on the other three photos, you can see that they're containing Yerba Santa for functions that are listed on the left, and they're for smoking or making into tea or even a steam inhalant. And the significance of this plant to me is that my abuela used to grow Yerba Santa in her garden when I was a kid, and she would take parts of the plant and make a tea with it, and also like make jokes that she grew Yerba Santa after my grandpa left because they're divorced, and she'd be like, "It got his bad vibes out of here." But she really just taught me about how important it is that we take care of plants, because she used to take all the seeds off of her plants and put them in a pot and set the like the twig parts of the plant in there with it and set it all on fire until it all got kind of lightly charred. And then when it cooled down, she would take the seeds out of the capsules to plant them and burn back some of the old parts of the plant. And this would reduce disease and help the seeds germinate, which is actually scientifically proven for this plant. So it was very interesting. But she just said that plants take care of us, so we must take care of them. And that was her way of taking care of her Eriodictyon californicum in her garden. But that's why it's important to me. And I also have a best friend whose grandma is a bruja, and they kind of taught me the metaphysical and spiritual properties of Yerba Santa, and that it can purify objects, people, places. And I just think it's really interesting. And that's why I chose to do my project on this plant. Thank you for listening.